Few companies in the gaming world left as deep as an impact as Rockstar Games. Known for pushing boundaries, creating immersive worlds, and courting controversy, Rockstar has built a reputation as a developer that isn't simply about making video games. They create cultural phenomenons. But the journey to the top wasn't instant or easy. Rockstar's history is one of experimentation, evolution, and risk-taking spanning over 2 decades of groundbreaking titles. From their humble beginnings as DMA Design in Dundee, Scotland, to becoming the creators of some of the highest-grossing and most beloved games of all time. Buckle up as I take you down the nostalgia road to Liberty City and we look at the history of Rockstar Games.
Freedom. Free at last. Is that Paul's limo? Yeah, I gotta go. He's in the car. So let me get this straight. All because I tried to buy a copy of GTA 5 with a fake ID, which we then determined was real, I have to make a whole video on the history of Rockstar Games. You're lucky you got off that easy. You should have seen the guy that leaked the GTA 6 f***ing footage. But the last one took forever, Paul. Fine, have it your way. Drive and pull over. Oh shit, here we go again.
It's me, Matt!
I'm excited to announce that Grand Theft Auto 6 will be released on the Nintendo Switch 2 in 2046.
Before Rockstar Games became the household name, they were DMA Design, founded by David Jones in 1987. Initially focused on quirky, innovative games like Lemmings, DMA was already showing its knack for addictive creative gameplay. When Take-Two acquired DMA in 1998, they rebranded the company as Rockstar Games. So let's take a look at some of the earlier games that helped shape their journey. The original Grand Theft Auto was bold, innovative, and unlike anything else on the market. Played from a top-down perspective, the game put players in the shoes of a criminal looking to climb the ranks of the underworld by stealing cars, completing missions, and leaving a trail of mayhem in their wake. What made it stand out was the freedom it offered. Sure, you could follow the missions, but you could also explore the city, run over pedestrians, and outrun the police for hours on end.
What a great day. I'm so glad I took this vacation.
The game's gritty tone, irreverent humor, and open-world mechanics were groundbreaking, even if its graphics and controls were a bit rough around the edges. GTA wasn't a massive hit at first, but it sparked enough controversy, thanks to its violence, to gain attention. And more importantly, it planted the seeds for the juggernaut franchise that it would become. With GTA 2, DMA refined its formula. The sequel introduced multiple gangs with distinct personalities, each vying for control of the city. Players could align themselves with different factions, taking on jobs to earn their trust or betray them for bigger rewards. This faction system added depth to the gameplay and a strategic element to the chaos. The game's world was also livelier and more reactive. Cars followed traffic rules when they weren't being stolen by you, and police became even more aggressive as your crime spree escalated. While still using the same top-down perspective, GTA 2 was more polished and ambitious than its predecessor, paving the way for the 3D revolution that was just right around the corner. In the mid-90s, Earthworm Jim was a cult favorite, known for its bizarre humor and creative level design. When the series made the leap to 3D, Rockstar served as the publisher. Unfortunately, Earthworm Jim 3D struggled to replicate the charm of its 2D predecessor. The game followed Jim as he explored his own mind, battling inner demons in colorful and surreal environments. While the premise was as wacky as ever, the clunky controls and outdated visuals held it back a bit. Though not a hit, Earthworm Jim 3D showed Rockstar's willingness to take risks on quirky, offbeat projects while during this experimental phase. Not shortly after Tony Hawk's Pro Skater took over the skateboarding genre, Rockstar entered the fray with Thrasher: Skate and Destroy. Unlike its flashy competitor, Thrasher focused on realism. It wasn't about pulling off impossible combos or grinding telephone wires. It was about mastering the basics of skateboarding, from balance to momentum.
Hold on one second, Craig. Mom, are the Hot Pockets ready? No, it's okay, I can talk. I'm telling you right now, I'm not coming over to play Tony Hawk, though. It's ass. It's absolutely horrible. There's no way that game gets a sequel. Thrasher: Skate and Destroy is where it's at, bro.
The game had a gritty underground vibe, complete with urban environments and a pop-punk aesthetic. It also featured a unique battle system that made falling off your board hilariously brutal. While it didn't achieve the same fame as Tony Hawk, Thrasher earned respect for its authenticity and laid the groundwork for Rockstar's love of subcultures and countercultural themes. A tank combat game set on alien planets, Wild Metal was one of Rockstar's more obscure early titles. Players would control tanks equipped with futuristic weapons, battling enemies in vast open environments. While the concept was simple, Wild Metal featured a strategic layer that required players to carefully plan their attacks and manage resources. The destroyed landscapes and slow, methodical gameplay gave the game a unique feel, even if it did make a huge splash in the gaming world. It wasn't a blockbuster, but it reflected Rockstar's early interest in vehicles and dynamic environments, elements they'd later perfect in their flagship titles. This period was a time of growth and experimentation for Rockstar. They were still finding their voice, dabbling in different genres and styles, but the seeds of the future success was clearly visible. With Grand Theft Auto leading the charge and their ambition growing with every release, Rockstar was ready for a new era, the 3D revolution. The dawn of the 21st century marked a pivotal moment for Rockstar Games. With the release of the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube, gaming was entering the era of 3D open worlds, and Rockstar was at the forefront. Before we get there though, let's take a look at some of the games that built up to this revolutionary moment. 2000's Midnight Club Street Racing was Rockstar's first foray into the world of underground street racing. This wasn't your typical racing game. Instead of predefined tracks, players navigated through sprawling open cities, finding their own routes to checkpoints. Set in New York and London, the game introduced a vibrant street culture inspired by illegal racing scenes. The dynamic nighttime environments, neon-lit streets, and exhilarating sense of speed set it apart from traditional racers of the time. While the game's story was minimal, its open world structure and focus on player freedom laid the groundwork for Rockstar's future hits. It also cemented Rockstar's love for vehicles as more than just tools. They were extensions to the player's identity and character. If Midnight Club was a love letter for urban racing, Smuggler's Run was all about off-road chaos. Also developed by Angel Studios, this game tasked players with delivering contraband while dodging law enforcement and rival smugglers across vast, rugged landscapes. The game's expansive maps, destructible environments, and high-stake chases showcased Rockstar's growing ambition in creating immersive open-world experiences. Though it wasn't a massive commercial hit, Smuggler's Run helped set the tone for Rockstar's knack of adrenaline-pumping action and environments that felt alive. Published under the Rockstar banner, but developed by Bungie West, yes, the same Bungie that would go on to create Halo, Oni was an ambitious third-person action game inspired by anime classics like Ghost in the Shell. Players controlled Konoko, a badass cyberpunk operative navigating a dystopian future filled with conspiracy and combat. Oni combined hand-to-hand martial arts with gunplay, offering a unique blend of action that was ahead of its time. While its gameplay was a little bit clunky at times and its story didn't fully land, Oni reflected Rockstar's willingness to experiment with bold, genre-blending ideas, even if they didn't always hit the mark. Here it is, the game that changed everything. Grand Theft Auto 3 was far more than a step forward for Rockstar. It was a seismic shift for the entire gaming industry. Moving away from the top-down perspective of its predecessors, GTA 3 introduced players to Liberty City, a fully realized 3D metropolis teeming with life, crime, and opportunity. For one of the first times, players could explore a vast open city from a third-person perspective. Liberty City felt alive, with pedestrians wandering the streets, cars honking in traffic, and news reports reacting to your in-game antics. The freedom to do whatever you wanted, follow story missions, go on a rampage, or simply just cruise through the city was unprecedented.
What a great day. I'm so glad I took this vacation.
The game's gritty narrative, inspired by mobster films like Goodfellas and The Godfather, introduced memorable characters like Claude, the silent protagonist, and Catalina, the backstabbing femme fatale. Combined with a killer soundtrack featuring multiple radio stations, each with its own unique vibe, GTA became an instant classic. It was also the first game in the series that introduced a top player to Rockstar Games' future, Laszlo.
That's a stupid clown.
Listen, I'm not a clown. Dude, I've been around. I used to do
been around? When?
coke off of toilet seats. You know, I took payola.
Laszlo was a radio DJ who would work with Rockstar for years to come, focusing on the radio and story scripts as well as a persona in the series, and the game's success established Rockstar as a force to be reckoned with. It also didn't come without its debates about violence in video games, a controversy Rockstar leaned into rather than shied away from, cementing their reputation as gaming's ultimate rebels. The sequel to Smuggler's Run took everything fans loved about the original and cranked it up a notch. Larger maps, more varied missions, and a stronger narrative focus, Hostile Territory felt like a step forward for the series. Set against the backdrop of global conflict, players smuggled goods across war zones while dodging military patrols and rival factions. The game's chaotic action and expansive terrain showcased Rockstar's growing expertise in creating dynamic environments. Though it didn't reach the same heights as GTA 3, it remained a solid entry in Rockstar's early catalog. Developed by Remedy Entertainment and published by Rockstar, Max Payne brought a new level of cinematic storytelling to gaming. The game was dark, gritty, and unapologetically noir. What truly set Max Payne apart, though, was its gameplay. The introduction of bullet time mechanics allowing players to slow down time for stylish, Matrix-inspired gunfights. It was revolutionary to the video game industry. Combined with its graphic novel-style cutscenes, hard-boiled dialogue, and haunting atmosphere, Max Payne was a critical and commercial hit, solidifying Rockstar's reputation for delivering mature, story-driven games. As a break from their usual fare, Rockstar released State of Emergency, a chaotic beat-em-up set during a violent uprising against a dystopian corporation. Players could roam city streets, battling waves of enemies with everything from baseball bats to bazookas. Its repetitive gameplay and lack of depth left it feeling like a missed opportunity. Still, State of Emergency showed Rockstar's willingness to tackle politically charged themes, a trend that would become a hallmark of future work. Based on the 1969 film, not the later remake with Mark Wahlberg, The Italian Job was a charming, mission-based driving game. Players would reenact iconic scenes from the movie, zipping through cities in Mini Coopers and completing heists. While it didn't push any boundaries, the game's lighthearted tone and tight driving mechanics made it an enjoyable addition to Rockstar's lineup. With the massive success of GTA 3, Rockstar had proven that open-world 3D games were not just a niche, they were the future, and the studio wasted no time capitalizing on this moment. If GTA 3 was revolutionary, Vice City was the cultural explosion that followed. Set in a neon-soaked, cocaine-fueled version of 1980s Miami, Vice City introduced players to Tommy Vercetti, a charismatic and ruthless criminal voiced by the famous actor Ray Liotta. Where GTA 3 laid the technical groundwork, Vice City added style and personality.
What a great day. I'm so glad I took this vacation.
The city was vibrant and alive for its time, from its pastel Art Deco buildings to its bustling beachfronts. The game's story also channeled iconic crime dramas like Scarface and Miami Vice, offering a tale of betrayal, ambition, and access that felt straight out of Hollywood. Perhaps most iconic was Vice City's soundtrack, a time capsule of the 80s featuring artists like Michael Jackson, Blondie, and Hall & Oates. The music, combined with the game's humor and slick presentation, made Vice City an instant classic that sold millions of copies and became a pop cultural phenomenon. Midnight Club 2 took the open city racing formula of its predecessor and cranked up the intensity. With improved graphics, faster cars, and larger cities to explore, including Los Angeles, Paris, and Tokyo, the sequel built on everything that made the original great. The game also introduced motorcycles, adding variety to the high-speed chaos. With its vibrant street racing culture, dynamic weather effects, and customizable vehicles, Midnight Club 2 was a hit with the fans of fast cars and urban nightlife. It showed Rockstar's ability to improve on their established franchises, keeping them fresh and exciting. Speaking of sequels, the sequel to the critically acclaimed Max Payne was darker, moodier, and more polished. Max Payne 2 continued the story of its tortured protagonist, diving deeper into his psyche as he navigated a gritty tale of love, betrayal, and vengeance. The gameplay even refined the original bullet time mechanics, making them smoother and more cinematic. The graphics and animations were also a huge step up, with more realistic character models and detailed environments. Though it didn't sell well as its predecessor, Max Payne 2 earned praise for its mature storytelling and stylish action, solidifying Max as one of gaming's most iconic anti-heroes. Few games in Rockstar's catalog have been as controversial as Manhunt. This stealth-based survival horror game put players in the role of James Earl Cash, a death row inmate forced to participate in a brutal snuff film. Guided by the sadistic director, players had to navigate dark, grimy environments while using stealth and improvised weapons to take down enemies in gruesome ways. While critics praised the game's tension and atmosphere, its extreme violence drew backlash from media outlets, politicians, and even other developers. The game was even banned in several countries, including New Zealand and Germany, due to its disturbing content. The controversy escalated even further in 2004 when Manhunt was linked to a real-life murder in the UK where a 17-year-old was accused of killing his friend in the same way that some claimed mirrored the game's executions, although it was determined later on that Manhunt had no connection to the crime. The incident still fueled moral panic around violent video games, with politicians calling for stricter regulations. Retailers like GameStop and Walmart even pulled the game from their shelves, while Rockstar defended Manhunt as a work of horror fiction and not a murder simulator. Despite, or perhaps because of it, Manhunt became a cult hit, proving once again that Rockstar wasn't afraid to push boundaries and tackle dark, unsettling themes. The game's notoriety even led to a sequel, Manhunt 2, which faced even harsher censorship battles, with some versions heavily edited to avoid adults-only ratings in the US.
Okay guys, we need something crazy for this next game. What do you got? I need something, I need ideas, I need out of the box. We're Rockstar Games. We need to break the mold and get controversial. I don't know, sports game maybe? Horrible. What about a pole dancing game? That's a sport, right? No.
Yes, what about a game where you have to help somebody make a snuff film? That sounds original.
Yeah, good idea, Milton. You know what, Mike?
It's Milton.
Whatever, Mitch. You just got yourself a fucking game.
Before Red Dead Redemption became a household name, there was Red Dead Revolver, a spaghetti western-inspired action game. Originally started by Capcom before being acquired and completed by Rockstar, the game followed Red Harlow, a gunslinger on a quest for revenge. While more linear and arcade-like compared to the open-world successors, Red Dead Revolver was packed with charm. Its stylized visuals, unique characters, and cinematic presentation captured the essence of classic westerns. It wasn't a massive hit for Rockstar, but it laid the foundation for what would eventually become one of Rockstar's most beloved franchises. If Vice City was Rockstar perfecting their formula, San Andreas was Rockstar breaking the mold and creating something entirely new. Set in a sprawling state modeled after California and Nevada, San Andreas was 3 times the size of its predecessors, with 3 distinct cities, Los Santos, San Fierro, and Las Venturas, and vast countryside all in between.
What a great day. I'm so glad I took this vacation.
Players got to step into the shoes of Carl Johnson, or CJ, a former gang member returning home to Grove Street after the murder of his mother. What followed was an epic story of family, betrayal, and ambition as CJ rose from the street-level gangbanger to a high-rolling kingpin. The game introduced RPG-like mechanics, allowing players to customize CJ's appearance, skills, and even his physique, from hitting the gym to binging on fast food. It also featured countless side activities, from gambling in Las Venturas to driving trains and flying planes. With its massive scope, unforgettable characters, and iconic soundtrack spanning multiple genres, San Andreas wasn't simply a game, it was a cultural event. It remains one of the best-selling and most beloved games of all time. But of course, that wasn't without its controversy. Few controversies in gaming history have been as explosive as the hot coffee mod in GTA San Andreas. Initially hidden within the game's code, Hot Coffee was an unfinished and disabled minigame that depicted an interactive sex scene between the protagonist and his in-game girlfriends. While these scenes were never meant to be accessed by players, modders on PC discovered the content and released a patch that unlocked it, igniting a firestorm of controversy.
I love hot coffee. Holy
By the time Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition hit shelves, Rockstar's racing series had already established itself, if not the leader, a close second in the arcade racing genre. But this entry took the franchise to new heights, combining high-speed thrills with unparalleled customization, all wrapped up in the glitz and glamour of car culture. The collaboration with Dub Magazine brought a heavy focus on car customization, allowing players to modify almost every aspect of their vehicles, from your common performance upgrades to intricate paint jobs, rims, and even neon lights. For car enthusiasts, Dub Edition was more than just a racing game. It was a love letter to the automotive culture. The game spanned 3 sprawling open-world cities, San Diego, Atlanta, and Detroit, Each city had its own unique vibe. From Atlanta's winding streets to Detroit's industrial landscapes, players could free roam to find hidden races, discover shortcuts, or simply enjoy cruising to killer soundtracks featuring artists like Lil Wayne, The Game, and Fat Joe. Gameplay was a perfect balance of accessibility and challenge, with intense high-speed races that rewarded skillful use of nitro boosts, drafting, and well-timed cornering. Players could even choose from a variety of vehicles, including muscle cars, tuners, SUVs, and motorcycles, each with distinct handling and performance. What truly set Dub Edition apart was its style. From the slick menus to the flashy in-game visuals, the game exuded confidence and coolness. It took more than just winning races. It was about showing off your ride and dominating the streets in style.
Throw some D's on that. Second thought, maybe not.
The game also introduced several new modes, including club races, where players could join car clubs and compete against rival crews for dominance. This, combined with its extensive multiplayer options, ensured that Dub Edition had a long-lasting appeal for both solo players and those looking to race their friends. Based on the cult classic 1979 film, The Warriors was a beat-em-up that recreated the gritty streets of New York City. Players controlled members of the Warriors gang as they battled rival factions and tried to survive the night after being framed for murder. The game expanded on the movie's story, giving players a deeper look at the gang's origins and rivalries. With its visceral combat, stylized visuals, and faithful adaptation of the film's tone, The Warriors was a love letter to fans of the movie and a standout in Rockstar's catalog. Set 3 years before the events of GTA 3, Liberty City Stories returned players to the gritty streets of Liberty City. This time they controlled Tony Cipriani, a mobster working his way up the ranks of the Leone crime family. While originally the game was designed for the PSP, it retained the open-world chaos and cinematic storytelling that fans loved about the mainline GTA series since 3. Players would explore a familiar yet slightly altered version of Liberty City, engaging in missions ranging from gang warfare and political corruption. The game introduced new mechanics previously unavailable in GTA 3, such as motorcycles and wardrobe changes, making it feel fresh. Liberty City Stories was a massive success for Rockstar, proving that the GTA formula could thrive on a handheld system without sacrificing depth or scale. A year after Liberty City Stories, Rockstar brought players back to the sunny and dangerous streets of Vice City. Set in 1984, 2 years before the events of Vice City, the game followed Victor, or Vic, Vance, a soldier turned criminal trying to build an empire while navigating family drama and the dangers of the drug trade. Vice City Stories expanded on Vice City's formula, adding more ambitious features like empire-building mechanics. Players could take over businesses, defend their turf, and grow their criminal empire, a feature that felt like a precursor to some of the systems seen in GTA Online. The game also took full advantage of the nostalgic charm of the 80s, with another incredible soundtrack featuring hits from Phil Collins, Blondie, and more. It retained the humor, style, and atmosphere of the original Vice City, while offering a fresh perspective on its world. Though technically constrained by the PSP hardware, Vice City Stories managed to feel just as vibrant and engaging as its console counterpart, making it another success for Rockstar's handheld ventures. Rockstar took a break from crime and violence, sort of, with Bully, a game that traded gangsters and guns for schoolyard cliques and slingshots. Players controlled Jimmy Hopkins, a troubled teenager navigating the social hierarchy of Bulworth Academy, a boarding school filled with bullies, nerds, and corrupt faculty. While lighter in tone than GTA, Bully still remained Rockstar's signature humor and edge, tackling themes of adolescence, rebellion, and authority. The game's open-world structure allowed players to explore the school and surrounding town, attend classes, pull pranks, and, of course, get into fights.
What's up, Chouds? Have you guys ever played Thrasher, Skate, and Destroy? You guys really should. It's a lot of fun. I'm playing it back at my dorm if you're interested.
Bully was a critical success, praised for its charm, wit, and unique setting. It proved that Rockstar could step away from crime dramas and still deliver a compelling, unforgettable experience. After the controversial impact of the first Manhunt, Rockstar decided to push the envelope even further with Manhunt 2. Released in 2007, this sequel was darker, gorier, and even more continuous than its predecessor. The game followed Daniel Lamb, a former scientist suffering from amnesia, as he uncovers the horrifying secrets of his past with the help of a psychotic ally, Leo Casper. What set Manhunt 2 apart was its psychological angle. While the first game leaned heavily into the brutality of its snuff film premise, the sequel focused on themes of mental illness, government conspiracies, and moral ambiguity. The story delved into disturbing territory, with Daniel torn between reclaiming his humanity and succumbing to his violent tendencies. From a gameplay perspective, Manhunt 2 retained the stealth-based mechanics of the original, but introduced environmental kills and an even darker atmosphere. The game's executions, already controversial, were toned down in the US release to avoid an adults-only rating, though unedited versions circulated elsewhere. The backlash was immediate, with several countries banning the game outright. Despite, or perhaps because of its controversy, Manhunt 2 remains a fascinating example of Rockstar's willingness to explore the darkest corners of human nature, no matter the cost. By the end of this phase, Rockstar had not only mastered the art of open-world gaming, but also demonstrated their ability to explore new genres, settings, and themes. From the streets of Vice City to the halls of Bulworth Academy, their games offered unparalleled freedom, depth, and creativity. This era cemented Rockstar's place as one of the most innovative and influential studios in gaming history. Up next was the HD era, where Rockstar would take their ambition and storytelling to greater heights. As the gaming industry transitioned, not that in the high definition, Rockstar embraced the power of the new consoles. With bigger budgets, advanced technology, and bold creative visions, Rockstar was cracking their biggest experiences yet. Before jumping into massive open worlds, Rockstar surprised everyone with table tennis. Yes, you heard that right. A hyper-realistic ping pong game. Using the newly developed Rockstar Advanced Game Engine, or RAGE, table tennis was essentially a technical showcase for the cutting-edge graphics, animations, and graphical fidelity the engine could achieve. While it may seem like an odd choice, the game was a hit with critics and players alike. Praised for its tight mechanics, addictive gameplay, it also hinted at the level of realism and polish Rockstar would soon bring to their flagship franchises. When GTA 4 arrived, I remember buying a 360 just for this. It was a cultural event. Rockstar rebuilt Liberty City from the ground up, crafting an astonishing, detailed, and lifelike version of New York City. Players would step into the shoes of Niko Bellic, an immigrant chasing the American dream, only to find it's riddled with corruption, crime, and betrayal. The leap in storytelling was monumental. Niko was a layered protagonist gripping with guilt, morality, and a violent past. The supporting cast, from Roman's comic relief to the menacing Dimitri, it felt like real people, each with their own motivations and quirks. Gameplay-wise, GTA 4 introduced more realistic driving physics, covered-based shooting, and dynamic worlds where NPCs reacted to your actions.
What a great day. I'm so glad I took this vacation.
The game's multiplayer mode also set the stage for Rockstar's future endeavors in online gaming. With its darker tone and grounded storytelling, GTA 4 redefined the possibilities of open-world games, and remains a landmark title. Rockstar's love for fast cars and urban nightlife roared back in Midnight Club LA. Set in a beautifully recreated version of LA, the game featured a seamless open world filled with traffic, dynamic weather, and iconic landmarks. Players could customize cars and motorcycles with an impressive level of detail, from paint jobs to performance upgrades. The game also introduced a night-day cycle, which affected traffic patterns and the city's vibe. While it didn't reinvent the wheel, Midnight Club LA was a stylish and polished entry in the series, appealing to fans of high-speed thrills. Following Liberty City and Vice City stories on handhelds was no small feat. For GTA's next handheld adventure, Rockstar would take a bold approach. Chinatown Wars returned to a top-down perspective reminiscent of the series' origins, but with a modernized gameplay and a sharp, comic book-inspired art style. Set in the HD version of Liberty City, the game followed Hung Lee, a young Triad member seeking revenge for his father's murder. Despite the hardware limitations on the DS and PSP, Chinatown Wars delivered a full-fledged GTA experience, complete with an open world, diverse missions, and even a controversial drug-dealing minigame.
Yes. I make it rain on them hoes.
Critics praised the game for its innovative use of touchscreen controls and its ability to capture the essence of GTA on smaller platforms. It proved once again that Rockstar could adapt their formula without losing what made it special. With Red Dead Redemption, Rockstar didn't just revisit the Western genre, they redefined it. A spiritual successor to Red Dead Revolver, this open-world epic told the story of John Marston, a former outlaw forced to hunt down his old gang to protect his family. Set in the dying days of the Wild West, the game featured a sprawling and stunning detail to open world filled with dynamic wildlife, NPCs with their own schedules, and random events that made the world feel alive. Players could engage in activities like hunting, poker, and dueling, immersing themselves in the rugged frontier lifestyle. But it was the story that truly set Red Dead Redemption apart. Marston's journey was both personal and epic, filled with unforgettable characters and moments. The game's emotional ending left a lasting impact on players, solidifying its place as one of the greatest games of all time. Developed by Team Bondi and published by Rockstar, LA Noire was a departure from the studio's usual fare. Set in 1940s Los Angeles, this detective thriller put players in the role of Cole Phelps, a war hero turned LAPD officer. The game's standout feature was its groundbreaking facial capture technology, which allowed for realistic expressions and nuanced performances. This was crucial for gameplay, as players had to read suspects' faces during interrogations to determine if they were lying or telling the truth.
Your wife was brutally beaten with a socket wrench handle, then stomped to death. How do you think that looks, Jacob?
Officer, you're crazy. You have no idea what you're talking about right now.
While it wasn't an open world game in the traditional Rockstar sense, LA Noire impressed with its meticulous attention to detail, compelling narrative, and unique gameplay mechanics. It showcased Rockstar's ability to experiment with new ideas while maintaining their signature polish. Nearly a decade after the release of Max Payne 2, Rockstar revived the series with Max Payne 3. Set in Brazil, the game followed an older, grizzled Max as he worked as a private security contractor while grappling with his past demons. The game retained the series' signature bullet time mechanics but modernized them with fluid animation and cover-based shooting. The gritty narrative was filled with twists, betrayals, and moments of heartbreak, staying true to the series' noir roots. Max Payne 3 also featured a robust multiplayer mode, complete with customizable characters and dynamic environments. Though it divided fans with its tonal shift and focus on action, the game was praised for its stunning visuals, intense gameplay, and gripping story. The HD era marked a turning point for Rockstar. These games weren't just technical marvels, they were emotional, cinematic experiences that pushed the boundaries of what video games could achieve. From the gritty streets of Liberty City to the untamed frontier of the Wild West. Rockstar's commitment to detail, storytelling, and innovation solidified their place as one of the most respected developers in the industry. With the groundwork laid in this era, Rockstar was ready to take the next leap with the modern era, delivering some of the most ambitious and beloved projects to date. The modern era marked the continuation of Rockstar's reign. GTA 5 wasn't just another chapter in the long-running series, it was the most ambitious and technically impressive GTA to date. Or at least originally for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 before later being ported to newer consoles, GTA 5 raised the bar for what was possible in open-world gaming. The game followed three distinct protagonists, Michael, Trevor, and Franklin, each with their own storylines that intertwined in a chaotic and explosive narrative. This was the first time in the series that players would seamlessly switch between multiple characters, creating a dynamic and varied gameplay experience. Los Santos, the game's fictionalized version of Los Angeles, was a sprawling and living and breathing city that felt more alive than ever. The world was packed with activities.
What a great day. I'm so glad I took this vacation.
From stock market speculation to yoga, and players could interact with NPCs in meaningful ways. The game also introduced a robust online component, GTA Online. GTA Online began as a multiplayer mode within GTA 5, but over time, it evolved into a behemoth of its own right. Rockstar transformed the game into a living, breathing world that expanded with frequent updates and new content. In GTA Online, players could customize their own character, own property, participate in heists, races, and even run their own businesses. The game was an ambitious experiment in persistent online worlds, and its success has only grown over the years. Rockstar regularly released free updates adding new cars, missions, weapons, and events, ensuring that the game never felt stagnant, at least for a while. The game's free-form nature allows players to forge their own path, whether you're pulling off elaborate robberies or simply driving around causing chaos. What made GTA Online so compelling was its ability to evolve with its player base. Rockstar's attention to detail and commitment to keep the game fresh and exciting meant that GTA Online was a permanent fixture in gaming culture. It also set the stage for Rockstar's future in online gaming, showing just how important the online experience could be for long-term engagement. If GTA 5 is a modern masterpiece, then Red Dead Redemption 2 was a revelation. This prequel to the original Red Dead Redemption took players back to the dying days of the Wild West, following Arthur Morgan and the Van der Linde gang as they try to survive in a rapidly changing world. Red Dead Redemption 2 was a massive step forward in Rockstar's storytelling prowess. The game's narrative was emotional, tragic, and deeply human, with Arthur's journey filled with internal conflict and a sense of inevitable doom. But it was more than just a story, it was the world. Rockstar's attention to detail in Red Dead Redemption 2 was unmatched, with living, breathing ecosystems where every animal, every PC, and every element of nature played a role in making the game feel like a real world. The game featured a dynamic weather system, day-night cycles, and realistic interactions with NPCs that made the world feel like a true frontier. Players could even engage in a variety of activities from hunting, fishing, poker, and drinking at the local saloon. There was also numerous side stories, hidden treasures, and random encounters that kept players on their toes. RDR2 also introduced Red Dead Online, an online component that allowed players to live out their cowboy fantasies in a shared world. While it started with a focus on PvP gameplay, it gradually evolved into a more expansive experience with new content, missions, and activities. Although not as well received as GTA Online, it is still a decent example of how to build an online game. RDR2's visuals were groundbreaking, with stunning landscapes and a level of detail that was virtually unmatched, even today. Red Dead Redemption 2 was a technical marvel, earning widespread acclaim for its realism, emotional depth, and dedication to the craft. In 2021, Rockstar reintroduced 3 of the most iconic games in its history, with the release of Grand Theft Auto: The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. This remastered collection included GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, updated with modern graphics, new lighting systems, and improved gameplay mechanics. While the remasters were initially met with some criticism regarding bugs and visual inconsistencies, the release served as a reminder of just how far Rockstar had come in terms of technical capabilities. These classic titles laid the foundation for everything that followed in the GTA series, and revisiting them with a modern lens showcased the evolution of open-world games. Despite the mixed reception of the remasters, the trilogy gave a new generation of players an opportunity to experience the games that had defined an era of gaming. As we look to the future of Rockstar Games, there's one question on the minds of every gamer. What comes next? The anticipation for GTA 6 is nothing short of historic. Fans have been speculating for years about the next installment in the GTA series. While official details remain scarce besides the first trailer that came out over a year ago, Rockstar has made it clear that GTA 6 will take full advantage of the latest technology, with rumors hinting at a sprawling dynamic world that'll be far more detailed and interactive than anything we've seen before. Set in Vice City and the surrounding area, it is expected to feature multiple protagonists similar to GTA 5, with more nuanced stories, deeper character development, and a bigger, much more alive world to explore.
What a great day. I'm so glad I took it.
Fans also expect significant advances in AI and NPC behavior, making the world feel even more alive. With GTA Online becoming an ever-evolving experience, it's likely that the online component of GTA 6 will be just as expansive, offering players endless amounts of opportunity for chaos, collaboration, and competition. As the gaming world holds its breath, the hype surrounding GTA 6 has reached fever-pitch highs, with many speculating it'll redefine the open-world genre all over again. While GTA 6 is the primary focus for Rockstar, they also have plenty of other franchises with untapped potential. Been long clamoring for a sequel to Red Dead Redemption 2, or even a return to the Bully series, and Rockstar knows that there's immense demand for both. Given Rockstar's attention to perfection, it's likely that any future releases will be just as meticulously crafted and awe-inspiring as their previous titles. Whether it's revisiting old memories or creating entirely new worlds, Rockstar's creative future is filled with excitement. Through all of its successes with GTA, Red Dead, Bully, Max Payne, Midnight Club, and beyond, Rockstar has proven time and time again that it's not just a developer, it's a pioneer. Each new release pushes the limits of technology, creativity and storytelling. And the games they've produced have become landmarks in gaming history. As we look ahead, Rockstar's legacy continues to grow, with GTA 6 poised to take the world by storm. Whatever the future holds, one thing is certain: Rockstar Games will remain at the forefront of gaming. Fans are ready for the next revolution in open world gaming, and Rockstar is ready for it.
Man, talking about all these perfect games makes me want to try and find a way to play GTA 6 early. I wonder what the dark web has. That's probably nothing. FBI, open up! Oh, shit.
From Liberty City to the Wild Frontier, every game they drop is a legend this year. High-speed chasing, shots in the night, Red Dead riding till the break of daylight. They give us worlds where we break the rules, no hand-holding, just chaos and tools. From Vice City heat to the neon glow, every street, every mission, every story they show. Rockstar Games, kings of the fight, building worlds where we own the night. Guns, cars, outlaws, fame, nobody plays